Saitama, listen to me closely. You've got the strength. There's no doubt about that. One punch and you're clearing out problems faster than I can part a sea. But strength alone, well, it's just half the battle. See, there's more to being a true hero than just defeating enemies. Trust me, I've faced temptations, endured hardships, and guided the lost with much less than a single punch. So, how do you use all that power for real good? Let me give you a few pointers, because we both know your punches aren't going anywhere, but your heart. That's where the real work is. First off, Saitama, you need to understand this. Your power isn't a curse or a burden, but a blessing. Yet a blessing without purpose can feel empty. That's why you're bored, right? You've fought monsters, villains, and even time itself, and now nothing seems worth fighting for. But here's the truth. True strength isn't just physical. It's the ability to inspire, to uplift, and to change lives without ever needing to throw a punch. After all, I didn't come down to earth to defeat my enemies with fists. I came to defeat evil with love, patience, and kindness. But you're probably thinking, love, patience, kindness. Those don't sound like moves strong enough to take down a city-destroying monster. And you'd be right, at least in terms of raw force. But what if the true victory isn't in the punch at all? You've punched enough people, Saitama. Have you ever tried stopping the fight before it even begins? I mean, look at what you did to Boros. You took him down in one blow, sure. But what did it change? Did he become a better person? Did he learn anything? What's stopping the next villain from showing up tomorrow? That's where the real work starts. Instead of always aiming for that knockout punch, try aiming for their hearts. You know, one time Peter, he was one of my closest disciples, thought strength was about swinging swords. He even chopped off a guy's ear to try and defend me. Now that's commitment, but it wasn't the way. I had to tell him to put the sword away. In fact, I healed the ear right there in front of everyone. What I wanted Peter to understand is that real strength is shown in mercy and restraint. You've got the power to destroy, but Saitama, true power lies in knowing when not to use it. Now let's talk about that inner struggle. You're searching for something, but the problem is, you've been looking outward instead of inward. You're always expecting that the next big challenge will give you purpose, but real fulfillment. It comes from helping others. That's why you keep feeling empty after each fight. Power without purpose is just, well, aimless. I spent my time on Earth healing, teaching, feeding the hungry, and comforting the lonely. And I did all of that without a single superpower. What you need to ask yourself is, what am I fighting for? Is it just for a thrill, or is there something deeper? Take a moment and think about some of the people you've encountered. I remember when you ran into King. You thought he was this powerful warrior, and when you found out the truth, that he was terrified of fighting, you didn't mock him or belittle him. You showed kindness. You even kept his secret. That's the kind of strength I'm talking about. It wasn't in your punch, it was in your compassion. In that moment, you weren't Saitama the hero, you were Saitama the friend. And that, my friend, is far more valuable than a world-shaking punch. Now about all those villains you've faced, Garu comes to mind. You knocked him around pretty good. But what did it accomplish? Did he change? Did he understand the consequences of his actions? You've got to remember that villains aren't born, they're made. Sometimes they're people who have been hurt, rejected, or misled. I'm not saying you have to save every villain with a pep talk, but before throwing that punch, maybe ask yourself, is there a way to reach this person's heart before my fist reaches their face? Sure, you could destroy them, but wouldn't it be a greater victory if you could turn them around? Now that's a challenge worth accepting. And let's not forget your sidekick, Ganos. That poor cyborg is driven by vengeance. He's got fire in his heart, but the wrong kind. And you, Saitama, you've already shown him the better path. You've taught him that strength isn't everything, but now, show him the next lesson, how to forgive. The greatest battle isn't against some external enemy, but against bitterness and hatred. If Genos can learn to forgive the people who wronged him, that's a victory greater than any amount of robotic upgrades. And guess what? It'll make him a stronger hero, too. Sometimes, Saitama, forgiveness is the real knockout punch. Here's the deal. You don't need to find the next monster or villain to define your worth. The real battle is in your heart. Strength fades, but kindness, humility, and love, those are eternal. You're not just a guy who punches things. Deep down, you know there's more to you. Let's be real. You could have taken the easy path, using your strength to dominate, to become a tyrant, but you didn't. You became a hero. And being a hero means more than winning fights. It means making a difference in people's lives. That's where your true calling is. And while we're at it, let's talk about pride. It's easy to let your power go to your head, to think you're unbeatable. After all, no one's managed to land a blow on you. But here's the catch. You can be unbeatable physically and still be defeated by pride. Lucifer thought he was unbeatable too, and look where that got him. Humility, Saitama. Humility is your greatest ally. Never forget where you came from. You were once an ordinary man, just trying to make ends meet. That humility is what separates a hero from a monster. I'll be honest, sometimes you're not going to have all the answers. Sometimes the way forward isn't clear, and that's okay. Even I spent 40 days in the wilderness, tempted and tested. It wasn't easy. I could have used my power to make bread from stones, but I didn't. I chose the harder path because it was the right one. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Choose the harder path. Don't just solve problems with a punch. Solve them with wisdom, patience, and love. Lastly, let's talk about your motivation. You became a hero for fun, but you've seen now that being a hero is more than a hobby. It's a responsibility. The world doesn't need another unstoppable force. It needs a guiding light. And you, Saitama, can be that light. You're in a unique position, one where your strength can open doors to conversations others couldn't have. Imagine sitting down with some of these villains before the fighting even begins. They'd listen to you, not because they fear your punch, but because they respect your character. That's real power, and it's the kind that lasts. So what's next for you? Saitama, keep punching through life, or start leading others to a better way. The world is full of people who need more than just a hero. They need someone to show them hope. That's the legacy you can leave behind. Not the guy who won every fight, but the guy who changed lives, starting with his own. Now go, Saitama, not to fight your next battle, but to start your greatest one yet. The fight for good in the hearts of those around you. And remember, with great strength comes great. Well, you know how it goes. And while we're talking about the path forward, let me remind you of something important. Even I, the Son of God, had moments of doubt. When I was praying in the garden, I asked my Father if there was another way, if the cup of suffering could pass from me. But in the end, I submitted to His will, because I knew there was a greater purpose behind the struggle. You're going to face moments like that too, Saitama. Moments where you question everything, your purpose, your strength, your choices. But don't lose heart. Sometimes the hardest battles aren't the ones we fight with our fists, but the ones we fight within ourselves. Your journey isn't going to be easy. In fact, It might get harder before it gets better. But that's the beauty of it, Saitama. True growth comes from facing challenges, not running from them. You've spent so much time looking for the next big fight, when the real challenge has been inside you all along. But now that you're starting to see it, you've got the chance to become something even greater than a hero. You've got the chance to become a leader. And leaders, Saitama, aren't just strong. They're wise, compassionate, and humble. They know when to fight and when to stand down. They know how to inspire others to be their best selves. That's the kind of leader you can become if you're willing to take the next step. But before you can lead others, you need to lead yourself. You've got to define what kind of hero you want to be. Are you just a guy who fights because it's fun? Or are you someone who wants to make a real difference? That's a question only you can answer. But I think deep down, you already know the answer. You've seen what happens when you fight without purpose. It leaves you feeling empty, bored, and unfulfilled. But when you fight with purpose, when you fight for something greater than yourself, that's when you'll find true satisfaction. And remember, it's not about how many battles you win, but about the lives you change along the way. That's the legacy you'll leave behind. You've got the strength, Saitama. Now it's time to use it for something that matters.